Hi, everyone. I am Letitia Jackson, the author of the memoir Woman to Woman, Letters from Wives to Mistresses. I wrote this book because of a very heartbreaking incident I had with my ex-husband's mistress. She said the three words of the title of my book to me. She said, "Woman to woman, I want you to know." And I promise all of you who have read and will read this book will understand exactly why this book was necessary and why I blame her. That's right. I blame her. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that my ex-husband wasn't at fault, and I'm not lessening his responsibility. But I wrote this book for women only, because the problem is not just the husband to wife betrayal, but the woman to woman betrayal. And when you mess around with another woman's husband, you better believe it is a betrayal of our womanhood, and certainly a betrayal of our sisterhood. I'm going to read you a letter, a real life letter, written from a mistress to a wife. Why did she write this letter? Because I asked her to. In fact, I have gathered many letters from mistresses to wives, as well as the title says, from wives to mistresses. Because we need to talk about this. Really talk about this long overdue conversation, this topic of why we are still so willing in this day to be a part of something that is so destructive to one of our sisters. We need to broaden our view of sisterhood beyond our few friends and understand that we should have a loyalty to our worldwide sisterhood, where we look out for one another, where we respect one another, and just follow my motto. Loyalty is key. So I'm going to read this letter from chapter 5 of my book, which is called The Truth Behind the Lies. And then I want your opinion, your honest opinion, about what this mistress has to say. To Monica, how I wish I could address this letter to you by your full name. I want you to know how good my life is with your husband. I couldn't care less about you or this author's attempt at bonding women. I don't feel bad or guilty, and just so you know, I'm not going anywhere. Your husband and I have been together for 5 years, and we love each other. The only reason he hasn't divorced your ugly ass is that he knows how spiteful you are. He is not willing to give up everything he has worked so hard for just to give it to you. I'm okay with that, because if half his money goes to you, that means less money he has to spoil me with. And let me tell you, he spoils me well. Trips to Paris, shopping in Beverly Hills, the gorgeous house we make love in that he pays for, the car I blow him in that he bought for me for our anniversary. I will never leave him, and trust me, no matter what he tells you, he will never leave me. The problem with wives like you is you're not willing to do all it takes to keep your husband interested, satisfied, and happy. You think once you get that ring that you no longer need to get down on your knees for him. You think because he said, "I do," that you can just turn into a fat puddle of goo that blames your now size 16 body on the kids who are almost teenagers. Then I come along and treat him the same way 5 years later that I did from day one. He gets peace with me. I don't nag him about why he comes home late. I don't care, just as long as he comes home. And yes, home is with me. Although I have also used your beautiful house as my home too. Straddling him in that ugly chair in your bedroom is a favorite place of ours. You do keep a very tidy house. Thank you for always keeping his favorite foods so I can cook them for him in that palatial kitchen of yours. And thank you for the boutique of expensive body scrubs and lotions I get to choose from before he takes me in your California King. Why would I, or any woman in my position, feel bad for doing what a wife can't? Actually, what's worse is that it's not that you can't. You choose not to make your husband feel like a man. So, if you choose to check out of your marriage emotionally and physically, you don't get to judge me for picking up where you fall off. Women like you make me sick. You have everything, but you take it for granted. Your husband was in love with you at some point, but you stopped caring about how you look and how to please him. You use your kids as game pieces to make him feel guilty, so he stays in an unhappy marriage, while you put on fake face of happiness around your other equally as awful wife friends. I'm sure most of their husbands have a me as well. You and the author of this book can judge me all you want because it will not change a thing. I am not going to leave him in some disingenuous attempt to bring women together. Me leaving him will not make any difference. So right on. I actually hope this book does well and my letter makes the cut. Never know. Maybe it will at least make you wives sit up and take notice and learn how to prevent your husbands from seeking out another lover. So, if my letter contributes to that, then I count this letter as worth it. That will be my positive contribution to this latest little female movement. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to pleasing your husband. You might find it interesting to know I've written this letter while he is sleeping right next to me. Signed, Nothing to Feel Bad About. I asked the ladies to give me their honest, most raw emotions, and that's what she did, whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not. There are other letters in there from wives to mistresses and mistresses to wives. I'll share parts of those in future recordings. But for today, I want to know if just from that letter alone, if you can understand why wives blame the other woman. Thank you for your input and your respectful comments. I look forward to reading and replying to them. In the meantime, ladies, loyalty is key. Sisterhood matters. Have a great day. Bye.